Hi, my name is Steven Phyffer and I'm the founder of Oorsee. At Oorsee we love everything South African. Doesn't matter where we live, if we live in Australia, New Zealand, England, America, we love South Africa. We love braai, we love rugby, we love biltong, we love cook sisters and vet cooker, and we try and talk about all those things. So if you're looking at this video and thinking to myself, why another rugby video? It's because the Boks played this morning and we want to talk rugby. Now Walter, our rugby connoisseur and probably our biggest expert, he's not available at the moment. So I figured, well, since Walter and I spoke about the game yesterday, the coming game, I'll discuss it with you guys, and we'll see how that all went. Now, speaking of the books, how do you like my green and gold Oorsee edition, which I made for the World Cup last year? They were quite popular and they are embroidered. So yeah, if you want to see more of those and maybe interested in some merchandise, let me know, because I'll link up the Oorsee shop in the description below, and you guys can go grab some. They're not available yet, but they can be. Right, so excuse me, I'm looking at my phone. I'm actually just grabbing my notes that I made. So first of all, I want to start off. Let's address the elephant in the room, or the two elephants, Expat and Snyman. Did they really make a big difference in the startup squad? I don't think so. I think they should have. I mean, two guys that powerful, should have made a real difference. Driving the Boks closer to the English scoreline, we just didn't see that. It didn't happen the way everyone anticipated. They made a huge fuss about it yesterday and the day before, when they realized, well, for the first time ever, these two are going to start together in the first half. It didn't make that big a difference, and yeah, a few handling errors. A handling error by Expat was quite surprising. You don't see that often, but hey, it does happen. And yeah, the power just wasn't there, and that's probably one of the main reasons why England took advantage of it, especially in that first few minutes when they totally saw the gap on the left-hand side, their left-hand side, and they took it and they scored a try. A good one at that, probably one of my favorite tries of the game. Right, now, moving on. Libbok. I like the guy. I like him. I like the way he plays. I don't like the way he kicks. Yes, I know he's a good kicker, but with Libbok, you're just never sure. So I'm trying to understand, why does Rassie keep putting him on fly-off? Because Rassie, we all know, is a genius, so obviously he knows what he's doing. And he can't predict the game. He can't predict how players are going to be playing. And I'm pretty sure during practices, Libbok really nails those kicks. But come to the pressure of an actual match, he seems to be struggling. So, I mean, that first 10-20 minutes of the first half, I just felt that the Boks were really unsure, because that first try of England threw them totally off their balance, and they just weren't, they didn't show confidence. I didn't feel it. I want to know, did you feel it? Were you sure that they had this in the bag? Because there was a few minutes there where I wasn't sure anymore, because England really wanted this win and they kept trying it. They took advantage of those gaps. Their kicks were great. Fantastic in comparison with the Boks' kicks. I'm not talking about second half, I'm going to get to that. But I mean, if it wasn't for Williams, brilliant try. Oh my goodness, probably my favorite try of the game. Williams, I mean, side steps like that you don't teach anywhere else but South Africa. You need to run away from something, or you need to have the open space to practice those side steps to get them done, and he did really, really well. Peter-Steph du Toit, my favorite player. You know, he gave away a penalty to England, which cost us 3 points. But then he gave us back 5. So how can you be angry at the man? I mean, just look at him. He's just retaliated, and he gave us 5. And really good try. Loved it. Cheslin Kolbe. I mean, come on. You can't catch that guy. You just can't. And I think those were the... when I saw Cheslin Kolbe go down that line, I knew we had this in the bag. Confidence was restored. But what really got it back inside me, that look, this is the Boks. They've got this. We're going to win. We're world champions. Was when Handré Pollard came on for the second half. You don't want to start your second half on the back foot. And I think that's what makes being in the lead at the end of the first half so great. The moment Handré Pollard came on that field, I felt a whole different energy around the game. Everyone was just more confident. Everyone had a skip in their step. They weren't so stressed because Handré Pollard gets it done. His kicks were spot on. Couple of long ones there, couple of ones that just sort of cruised over that side, that sidebar, and he did really well. And watching him play is a real pleasure. And I must say, for me, that was the highlight of the game. Was when Handré Pollard came on, because the two massive locks, big fans, love your work, and and we know Rassie's experimenting. We spoke about this with Nas Buerta. You'll see a couple of his interviews on the channel. We spoke to Steven Phyffer about the last game. And we know Rassie is clever. He knows what he's doing. But then again, he's also experimenting. Because he gave us one World Cup, he gave us a second World Cup, and now he's working to give us a third. But in order to nail that third one, he needs to make sure that we have the right players down the line that's going to be able to deliver. That is why week after week, month after month, we see him taking risks, taking chances, because he wants to see what is the talent made of. We get that. I get that. It is a bit nerve-wracking though when you taking those sort of chances with people like Libbok against a team like England. Because now you're like, okay, wow, look, is Libbok really still going to be playing 3 years from now when the next World Cup is here in Australia? We don't know. I don't know. But should you then be taking a chance? Should you rather maybe giving another fly-off a chance? Maybe give him a chance to kick for poles. See how that goes. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. The game went obviously really well. Cheslin Kolbe, I believe he scored 2 tries, and my favourite try of the match was also the first one by the Boks, was done by Williams. Great player. Really looking forward to seeing more of him. Now, I did take some notes, so I'm going to be rambling them off to you, and then please leave your point of views in the comments. And if you want to come on the channel and have a chat with me about rugby, because I can promise you probably know more than I do. So if you're going to be looking at this video and you're going to be like, you're talking a load of rubbish, tell me in the comments that I'm talking rubbish, and I will work at getting this better. I'm not a rugby professional. I develop apps, but I do love the game. I do love watching it. I do love talking to people about it. And we all know practice makes perfect, and the more you talk about it, the more you will learn about it. Right, match highlight. First off, England started strong with Ollie Schlichtlumbe, Holme. Please just fix it for me. His early try converted by Marcus Smith. Marcus Smith had a brilliant game. He had a real brilliant game. I mean, he creates tries and he kicks goals. I mean, come on. However, South Africa responded swiftly with tries from Grant Williams, my man. Peter-Steph du Toit, my man. And Cheslin Kolbe establishing a 1917 lead at half-time. I read somewhere a couple of days ago, and this was the international rugby newsletter, saying that Cheslin Kolbe is probably the greatest player of our time. I believe it. Could be true. But at the same time, they also made a big fuss about Habana when he was playing, Brayton Paulse and Chester Williams. And there's just something about our fly-offs. They're just magnificent. And once they get a ball and they get a line, Chester Williams fly-off or centre? Forgive me for any mistakes in my history lesson. Right, second half. England retained a brief lead with Marcus Smith penalty. Yep. Yet, South Africa's Handré Pollard added a penalty and Kolbe secured his second try, sealing the victory for the Springboks. Now, key performances. Yeah, I'll make decent notes, I reckon. South Africa, Cheslin Kolbe was instrumental, scoring 2 tries. Handré Pollard's accurate kicking contributed to crucial points. Do I need to say anything else? I love to watch Libbok play. You know, I've actually done a poll on the Oorsee app a while back when Libbok cost us a game by not delivering points when he could have. And Rassie decided to put him in the squad the next weekend again. I think it was against Argentina, and everyone was losing their minds. But how on earth? What are you crazy? I think he wasn't kicking even in that second game, but there's mixed opinions out there. I think about 80% don't want to see him kick for poles. They just don't. He's a great kicker, but it's unreliable. Like against those really good teams, especially after a loss, you need consistency. Now I'm saying this as if I've got some coaching degree somewhere. I don't. I reached Cravenberg rugby at school, but that's about it. And that's my bragging. What I can do around the braai is that I know how to play rugby, but understanding the dynamics of the Springboks, especially nowadays when the rules have changed so much and it keeps changing, I'm not the guy that to tell Rassie how he should coach. I'm not doing that at all. I'm trying to make a video for my channel, and I'm trying to stir opinions and point of views. So, like I said before, comment and tell me what you think. Right. England, yeah, like I said, Marcus Smith showcased exceptional playmaking. He did, honestly, setting up tries and adding points through conversions and penalties. Despite his efforts though, England's defensive lapses were evident. It was. But at the same time, so was South Africa's. Now I'm going to jump back to our two prize locks. Oh, shut up, man. One of these, I think they're screaming at the cat. They don't like the cat at all. If you know anything about Australia, for those South Africans living here, we all know the birds are pretty vicious and violent and aggressive. And a cat doesn't stand a chance. So, yeah, they totally have it in for him. So our two locks, I mean, so much power, but it wasn't used. I didn't see any evidence of that being used in the first half. The law scrums should have exploded with energy and power, but I think England was like onto them, because the moment they got the ball, they stopped them in the tracks, and some of those tackles and moves contributed to some handling errors that I'm not going to go too deep on. We did see, however, before I forget, the two tries that was rewarded and then taken away, one by South Africa, which they said was a forward pass. I don't know about that one. I think it was momentum, because the one angle actually shows it was not a forward pass, it was more momentum, which I know there is rules around that as well, but then from the other angle it seemed forward, but I don't know. Will probably be loads of people out there screaming that it was a try. The lead should have probably been bigger. But then again, England scored one right after that. Now, this was after, obviously, South Africa there was a try taken away from them for a neck roll, which I didn't really see in ages until today. I saw two of them in one game. Wow. You know, I looked at that replay and I was like, yeah, I think you were a bit harsh on that. But again, I think one of the hardest jobs in the world, probably, besides being president of a country, is probably being a referee in a rugby match. Because not just he needs to make those difficult decisions during the game. Yes, he now has extra help with TMO and he's more referees around the field to help him out. But at the same time, you need to deal with all the critics afterwards. So you need to really have thick skin to just brush it all off and do it again next weekend. Lots of respect, loads of respect for our referees. Right. Anything else worth mentioning? Well, I did write this defeat extends England's losing streak for 5 matches. 3 straight wins by the Boks against England, but 5 straight losing matches of England. They did play well though against the world champs. I mean, come on, a 9-point difference. Who else can say that? The result intensifies scrutiny on the coach Steve Brothwick's strategies and team's defensive vulnerabilities. Well, I'll still take Steve Brothwick's above Eddie any day, because yeah, that guy, yeah. We'll leave it there. Speaking of Eddie, he's obviously not coaching Australia anymore, and the Australian team is doing better, much better. There's still loads of work to do, and they lack the well, I don't even know how to word it properly without sounding as if I'm offending anyone, but there's a certain genius and there's a certain dynamic, there's a certain IQ even that a Springbok player has, that I've seen in the Springbok team, and I'm not saying other teams don't have it. I've seen it in New Zealand, I've seen it in Ireland, where they make quick, decisive moves during a fast-running game that will create a brilliant try. I'm not seeing that when I'm watching Australia and some of the other teams. I'm seeing teams playing by the book. Now, let me try and explain. So there's a certain way of playing rugby. So they'll follow that formula constantly, straight through. The problem with the formula, though, is predictable. It is very predictable. So you need to take initiative and make moves. Use your lineouts. Use the rucks and get moves out there that players have not seen before. I always say, if you want to really see players make amazing moves that just blows your mind, go watch a little bit of AFL, go watch a little bit of American football. Not the same game at all. American football, I personally believe, is a bit more like chess. I'm not going to go down that line because obviously all you rugby nuts out there is going to start thinking I'm crazy, but you can learn so much from other sports, other contact sports, where you can apply that same method to rugby. I'm speaking now as a true coder, true developer, because I write software, and we work with classes and methods. Apply some of that same moves that they are doing. You can't obviously apply all the moves because some of the moves we'll consider the forward pass in rugby where it's not in the other sport. But yeah, learn from other sport and then reinvent the game. I mean, Nas Botha talked about this. Reinvent not just the game, but reinvent the dynamics around the game, the rules around it, the rules around who gets to play where, and salaries, and just so much topics to discuss around it. And honestly, it's not what Oorsee is. It's not all Oorsee is about. We're about so much more. I mean, I can post this video. Moments later, I'll make a video about Cook Sisters. That's what this channel is for. It is for anything South African. And look, what is more South African than a Springbok match on a Saturday evening / Sunday morning my time? Thanks for watching. I'm going to ask Walter his opinion as well. And Walter, we all know, is a rugby genius. And he will probably, I can already hear him swearing and cussing away that the Springboks should have done better, because they could have done better. They've got the power, they've got the skills, they've got the experience and everything in the team. And yeah, we know, but we still love them.